Hey, what's up, guys? It's X once again. We have a pretty important story today. Obviously, if you guys didn't tune into my previous Nets vid, which was me talking about the signing of Ime Udoka, or the potential signing of Ime Udoka, who was the former head coach of the Boston Celtics, I said that it could be beneficial for the Nets because they have a decent defensive personnel, and I think Ime would help them be elite, or if yeah, he'll help them be elite. But now they completely backed off, and they made their assistant head coach named Jacque Vaughn, who is a chip off the Popovich block. Well, at least as a player, they made him as the new head coach. And from a certain hindsight, I could see why, even though they did lose against the Mavs, they played pretty solid defense. It was their offense that just killed them down the stretch, and they just couldn't hit a shot. And they did held the Mavs to 96 points, and the team they played before, the Charlotte Hornets, even though being the Hornets really doesn't say much because no one really has any expectations for them, but they held them to 94 points. But anyways, I'm reading it off of Nets Daily. So if y'all see, I'll link the article. I mean, you can read it for yourself, but I'll just read the first two paragraphs on here. So 3 days after Mark Stein reported that strong voices were urging Joe Tsai to back off hiring Ime Udoka, the Nets decided to pass on Udoka and make Jacque Vaughn their next head coach. Reports indicate that Vaughn is signed through the end of the 2023-24 season. Jacque's basketball acumen, competitiveness, and intimate knowledge of our team and organization make him the clear-cut best person to lead our group going forward, or moving forward, Sean Marks said in making the announcement. He has a proven ability to get the best out of our players, hold them accountable, and play a cohesive team-first style of basketball. And then there, in that same article, after those first couple paragraphs, Shams tweeted that the Brooklyn Nets hired Jacque Vaughn, move on from the potential hire of Ime Udoka after a series of factors that were a result of the due diligence process. Okay, so a couple things. I did not like how the Ime Udoka situation was handled. Now, could it be a bad look for the Nets or bad PR for the Nets hiring someone who did break an organizational policy? Sure. And I thought Ime broke an organizational policy, but I do believe that 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 shit should have been behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were gonna fire, like Stephen A. Smith said, if you're gonna fire him, fire him. Don't freaking suspend him and then just let him walk. That shit made no sense. Which, again, I'm not gonna get into the details because I'm trying to keep it as much as it pertains to basketball. I'm not trying to get into the whole political scheme of things. But yeah, Ime broke a organizational policy, but that shit should have been more of an HR matter, more of an internal matter. But, you know, I don't know. I didn't like how it was handled, and I just hated that even though the Nets looked a lot better than their record says. I know Jacque Vaughn has only coached 4 games for the Nets, but within those 4 games, I thought they looked a lot better. I do think it is just as bad of a look for the Nets basically giving in to the pressure from people like Malika Andrews, who basically slammed Ime Udoka, but will not hold the woman accountable. Because, yeah, while it is morally wrong on Ime's part, he did break an organizational policy, and like I said, that shit should have been dealt behind closed doors. I know I repeated myself, but it's just like not a lot of people get it, especially people like Malika Andrews, who basically want this guy who want not the guy you see on my screen, but Ime Udoka to go to jail. But again, I'm going to keep it within basketball, within the context of basketball. So, another thing too is that I did like what I saw from Jacque Vaughn. Now, I looked up Jacque Vaughn's I'm about to look up Jacque Vaughn's history for y'all because apparently this isn't his first rodeo when it comes to being a head coach. I think I believed he did coach the Orlando Magic at one point in time. Let's see. Yeah, he did. He was coaching the Magic from 2012 to 2015. That's when they had guys like Tobias Harris, Victor Oladipo, who else? Nick Vucevic, and all those other guys. Alfred Payton. So, and the team stunk under Jacque Vaughn. Like if you look at guys like Depot and Tobias now, you'd probably be thinking that damn that Magic team and Nick Vucevic obviously you'd probably say like damn that team had a lot of potential to be a pretty solid playoff contender. And then another guy I forgot, Aaron Gordon, even though that was Jock's last season as a head coach, was Aaron Gordon's rookie year. But he's been an assistant. He's been in Brooklyn for a while. He's been in Brooklyn since 2016, and he basically was the interim head coach. He's been the assistant coach even under Kenny Atkinson, and he was the assistant head coach under Steve Nash. But I do feel like the Nets play a little more in sync and in tune, especially on the defensive side of the ball under Jacque Vaughn. And again, they are 500. And I do think there are a lot of positive things to take away from that Dallas game that they could carry on going forward. It's just their offense was basically KD or bust. And if you watch the game against that Mavs Nets game, they were double teaming KD all over the place. They were just letting anyone else not named KD beat them, and that almost cost them, ironically, because Cam Thomas hits a big three to put him up, not to put him up, to put them within one after falling down by 10 with 2 minutes to go. Again, we saw what the Clippers, why did I say again? But we saw what the Clippers did against the Cavs that same night, going down 10 with damn near 3 minutes to go, and then they came all the way back and won the game 117 to 119 117 after falling down 112 to 102. It was a similar situation with the Brooklyn Nets. They were down what? I think they were down 11 if I'm not mistaken. They were down 11 at one point, and I think they were down 10 within the final minute. I think it was like 82-92. Cam Thomas hits a big three to put him up, to put them within one. It was like what, 90? Was it 92-91? I don't know. I gotta rewatch the highlights. But nevertheless, he brought him back, and KD was fouled shooting the three, but Kevin had to make the second free throw, and he missed it. And then he had to miss the third one, but Royce gets the rebound. He gets caught in midair, and he coughs the ball up, and it was basically ball game. But I told my friend this: I see a lot more. I see the Brooklyn Nets being a lot more in tune on defense under Jacque Vaughn than Steve Nash. Again, they did play pretty bad teams. I don't think the Wizards are that good. The Hornets, they are kind of in no man's land, even with LaMelo. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on LaMelo. I think he's one of my favorite players. He's a fun player to watch, but the Hornets, you know what I mean? Like I'm not too high on them. Again, the Wizards are not that good. I'm trying to look at their schedule too. Dallas is a pretty good team, and they did lose to Chicago, but I don't know. They did play bad teams, or they did win against pretty subpar to bad teams. So maybe I'll take that with a grain of salt. But I do think that not only the Nets backed off of hiring Ime because of what went on in Boston. I also do think they probably see something in Jacque that makes them go, hey, maybe he could be what Ime was for the Celtics last year. Because remember, the Celtics were pretty much a play-in team by the time it was December of 2021. And then after December, and especially after the All-Star break, that's when the Boston Celtics went on a mad crazy run, and they carried that momentum into the playoffs, sweeping Kevin and Kyrie, defeating the defending champion in the Bucks and Giannis in the Game 7, eliminating Jimmy Butler in the Game 7, and taking 2 off of Steph and the Warriors, even though they would lose those same finals. So maybe, and this is just my theory, that the Nets probably see something in Jacque Vaughn that makes them feel like, hey, you know, we have this roster, and this roster could be pretty respectable on defense. And I think Jacque will help hold players accountable, and I think players will play harder under him. The same way players played hard under Ime Udoka, players on the Celtics played hard under Ime Udoka. So again, it's a bad PR move on both sides. I still think it's a bad move for them not to sign, not for the Brooklyn Nets not to sign Ime, because they basically caved into the pressure of all these people in the media basically condemning him, and then you have guys like Stephen A. Smith coming. I don't want to say coming to Ime's defense, but trying to say that, look, why is he getting all the blame when the woman should be held accountable too? It's not like Ime did something that Josh Primo did, exposing himself, Antonio Brown exposing himself, and along with many other things. Again, AB does have CTE from all the hits he's taken in the league, or in that league, and then Trevor Bauer of the LA Dodgers being accused of sexual assault and domestic abuse. So if Ime did something that those three did, of course we'd be having an entirely different conversation. But the thing is, Ime didn't do that. He just broke an organizational policy. So, and another thing too is that I tried giving Steve Nash a chance. And I do believe that he was wrongfully scapegoated. I think I said it in my last video. I do believe he was wrongfully scapegoated. Because yeah, was he a perfect coach? No. Have I been critical of Steve Nash? Hell yeah, I've been. I made that video on the Brooklyn Nets in my series recap vid last year, where I said they went outside sad and terrible. I gave Steve Nash a lot of flack, but I do believe that he was scapegoated, and people obfuscated blame from guys like Kevin and Kyrie, because Kyrie wanted to do his own thing and Kevin just wanted to hoop, right? And it's just like, I don't know. If Steve Nash is better as an assistant, damn, I'm getting tongue-tied so easily. God damn it, I should stop. But anyways, Steve Nash is a pretty good assistant head coach. Same with Luke Walton being a pretty good assistant head coach. But that doesn't mean they are fit to be good head coaches. Could that be the case for Jacque Vaughn? Sure. I would not doubt that. But maybe perhaps Jacque can, I don't know, maybe he could be someone like a Ty Lue, because we remember what Ty Lue did with the Cavs and what he's done with the Clippers the last few years. He helped get the Clippers to the conference finals, something that Doc Rivers couldn't do in his 7 years with the Clippers. And then he was able to make the Clippers a pretty respectable team without Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, even though they did lose in the two playing games, one against Minnesota, the other at home against the Pelicans. So maybe that's what the Brooklyn Nets see in him, and that's another reason why I think they backed off of signing Ime. But again, we'll never know for sure. But I can say this. The whole drama with the Ime story, it's going to unfold even more in the coming days, and who knows what's going to happen with Ime's future, because I do believe he's a head coach, and I do think a lot of teams should give him a chance, because of what he did with that Boston team. I think a lot of teams should give him a chance. Like, I don't believe Jamal Mosley's that bad of a coach, but I do think you put Ime in that situation with Paolo and Hamp and Cole Anthony and all those guys, Gary Harris. I do believe Ime can change the Orlando culture, and I do think he can help transform that franchise into becoming one of the best franchises and one of the best in the league. Same way Willie Green has transformed that Pelicans team. Monty Williams transforming the Phoenix Suns. So maybe I do think Ime can do that, because he did it with Boston. And again, guys like Monty and T. Lue and all these other guys, they help transform that culture. And hopefully I can say the same about Jacque Vaughn. But we'll see as they face the New York Knicks tonight. But yeah, these are my additional thoughts. This is me just basically adding on um, whatever thoughts I have left on the email situation. And plus, I wanted to make this video because this was a really big update in the Nets media. So yeah, my Lakers video, it's still in development right now. I do think instead of saying the Lakers are wasting LeBron's time, I think I should title it "The Lakers are wasting everybody's time." But again, that video is in development. We play the Clippers tonight. I don't have a good feeling about it, but we'll see. Once I make that video, and maybe I'll probably make that video as soon as that game ends. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys have. I hope you guys take care of yourselves. I don't know why I was saying like I'm a damn teacher or a professor, but anyways, yeah, those are my additional thoughts. Please let me know what you guys think. That's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.